Game show. Yes, coming to the barn. Saturday start. Pretty much all night in Carolina. Now we welcome you in to the broadcast. I'm Dave Gardner, along with my broadcast partner, Mike Steele. And Mike, we're a little exhausted. How about the players here for the Delaware Thunder? Let's start with them. Shootout late into the night last night. Got that Danbury traveled all night to Carolina. What's the expected of prior night in the first period?
I mean, we had a shootout last night. We had that Wednesday night and traveled to Carolina over the weekend. Last night late to get here for the shootout start. This has been a great couple days. I don't
Well, every game I've broadcast, the Thunder have scored first. They haven't won any of those. So let's hope that the fortunes change here tonight. Talk about last night with the Thunder. They got off to a 2-goal lead, 2-0 early. Well, that lead ended up going down in the shootout. How do you feel about their play last night?
I thought it was the best game of the season for the Delaware Thunder. They played really well. I thought a full 60-minute effort. Coach Penz, I spoke with him. He was proud of the guys last night, and I think we were too up here. What we said was after the game, it was a 60-minute effort, 65-minute effort even, right? They played pretty good in overtime, killing off a 4-on-3. That's impressive. Then Delaware, the only thing you got to be upset with, they didn't score on their 4-on-3.
Absolutely, and they go down in the shootout. But tonight, or this afternoon, moving into tonight, Danbury, a team that's off to a decent start, 6-3-1. But as you said, they've been on a little bit of a road trip, kind of all around. But they do have some good players to look out for. Let's talk about a few of them.
Start with their captain, Johnny Ruiz, right? This guy could score goals. It's no secret. He's a heck of a hockey player. He's been on this team for a couple of years now. He was on that 2019 roster. Went to Elmira for the 4-team season where they played there, and he's a guy you got to look out for. He could score goals. He could pass the puck. Then I go in net to Will McEwen. This guy's really a phenomenal goaltender, and he's the reason they stayed in a couple games this season. Frankie McClendon, the backup's just as good as well, so if anything goes wrong with Will McEwen, we could see him tonight. But both these guys are really dangerous. And Johnny Ruiz, the captain of this team, Gordy Bunnell as well. He's a goal scorer.
And we could say much the same about the goaltending for the Thunder this year. Costantino played very well. And, of course, we know all about Trevor Babin, who will get the start tonight.
Trevor Babin's a heck of a goalie. We said yesterday, 1A, 1B. There's no backup goalie on this Delaware Thunder team. Mike Costantino proved that last night. This Delaware Thunder team can be dangerous. They're a little short-handed tonight. Obviously, some injuries. Last night we didn't see Ricky Eberhardt return. We won't see him tonight. But you got to buy into a system against a team like Danbury. Get pucks in deep, go to work, hopefully throw the puck on net, get a couple goals. Play with the lead. You got to play with the lead when you have a short bench.
Absolutely. Should be a grind-em-out type game as we continue to get you warmed up for hockey during this matinee action from the Thunderdome. The Thunder taking on the Danbury Hat-Tricks will continue here on the Holiday Inn Express pregame show. Back with more right after this. And so we are back on the Holiday Inn Express pregame show. Dave Garson continuing to get you set for hockey this afternoon as the Thunder take on the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Danbury coming in with a 6-3-1 record. The Thunder finally getting their first point of the season last night, deep into the night, into a shootout, a 6-round shootout. The Thunder come in 0-6-1. Both of these teams, as we talked about when Mike Basile joined me, very tired. Danbury because of travel, and the Thunder because of 3 games and 3 nights. We await the team's arrival onto the ice. We'll take one final time out here on the Holiday Inn Express pregame show, and we'll have the start of the action coming your way in just a few moments here on DelawareThunder.com. And the Thunder about to be introduced here as we inch our way closer to the action. Tonight's starting goaltenders for the Delaware Thunder, it'll be Trevor Babin. He is 0-4. He got the night off last night. .882 save percentage, 6.45 goals against average. And for Danbury, it'll be Will McEwen, 3.46 goals against average, 2-0, and .893 save percentage. And now we'll pause as the Thunder get ready to come on the ice here at the Thunderdome. And as we mentioned, the Thunder coming in very short-handed. They already came into the weekend without a few players and down a couple more. Ricky Eberhardt out tonight, and Justin Natras, who has played well in his few appearances with the Thunder, also out this afternoon. Got to get used to saying this afternoon. Dave Garson here. Mike Basile will be joining me in a little bit. Federal Prospects Hockey League action on this NFL Sunday as well. We'll keep you posted on scores from around the NFL, as well as the NHL and the FHL. Players being introduced now. Joey Brennan out there. Couple number changes now that the Thunder are back in their more traditional home black uniforms. Luke Casey will go back to his normal number of number 3. And Aslan will be back with number 33. A lot of roster and number changes as we get on the broadcast, so bear with us this evening. Artem Alekin being introduced. He had himself a goal last game and the game prior. Off to a great start. As Trevor Babin heads over to the crease and we get set for the national anthem. And there we have another great rendition of the national anthem here at the Thunderdome. Dave Garson, Mike Basile up on the broadcast booth high atop the Thunderdome. As we get set for action, we know some fans asking about Riley Cote, the former Flyer. He was signed by Danbury, but he is not in the lineup tonight. As we get set for the puck drop this evening, the number one line for Danbury will be out there first with Jackson and Ruiz. And we're just making sure they're not making any last-second changes. Bonnell will also be up there on that first line. Just making sure, Mike, as you know.
Trying to pull a quick one on your pregame.
Well, we've had quite a few early on as Noah Wild, Artem Alekin will be out there, along with Brandon Lucchese, who's played well on this forward line, just about set for hockey action on this Sunday afternoon. And we're underway. Winning it back was Lucchese. Joey Brennan. Over to Timothy Payne. Punching it forward was Lucchese, but pushed right back in the zone by Garrett Gallagher. Timothy Payne under pressure. Oh, Bonnell almost had it, and we already have a penalty. How about that, Mike? A hook coming up here as Brett Jackson was jabbering with Lucchese, and it looks like Jackson's going to go off for the hook.
He's telling the ref, I got the stick, but the ref's like, I saw a little under the arm there. I did as well, and Tim Payne, I'm sure he's happy. He's thinking, okay, bail out, as the puck didn't end up in the back of his net there. He did make a good second effort, but it's Mike Constantino again tonight. We talked about him a little in the pregame. Not surprised after last night they went back to him. He was really, really good.
Absolutely. McEwen here in the net. Face off to his left. Another power play for this Thunder team. They come in struggling a bit, just 14% on the power play this season. Lucchese over to Brennan, down in the corner to Morgan. Morgan throws it out in front, and Noah Wild shoots it wide, and that one's going to be cleared all the way down the ice by Kuznetsov. No, it's not the Washington Capitals out there, as Babin tees it up for his goaltender behind the net. Pardon me, is that Constantino getting the start back there? Last-minute change. Apologize for that. Thought it was going to be Babin, but again, throwing a little bit of a curveball back at the point. A shot, deflected it in! That's a goal for Lucchese! I don't believe it was deflected. So number 3, Lucchese gets the Thunder on the board first with a power play goal.
Brandon Lucchese, shots on net, Dave. Shots on net. We talked about it last night. Shots on net. Delaware jumps out to a huge 1-0 lead. We're just 51 seconds into the contest. No goals in the first period. What happened?
Well, here we go. You mentioned that. As normal, you're wrong, but that's okay. We also get the first goal again every time I've been in a game. Let's hope the fortunes change with winning. So much for these teams being tired. A penalty and a power play goal to boot to start it off. Brandon Beer losing the draw. Bonnell, who was in the box, dumping it back. Now he picks it up. Bonnell looking, fires one, gets the rebound, and then it's gloved by Constantino. So initially I thought Babin would get the start with the back-to-back situation, or back-to-back-to-back. But Constantino in the net, who played very well yesterday. He's 0-1-1, 3.46 goals against average, .920 save percentage. McNally throws it back behind to Moritz. Moritz trying to bring it out. Asselin missed it, and that went off the stick of Joey Ruiz. He picks it back up in the center ice circle. Bonnell lost it in some skates. Asselin to Lecken. And Bonnell back out the other way. Here comes their leading goal scorer, Ruiz, on the backhand. And Weekly throws it on net, nothing doing there. Ruiz back in the corner. Moritz after him. Some support, this puck thrown out Bonnell's way. Bonnell back to the point. And at the point, that's Daniliuk trying to fire it in. He'll come back out to the neutral zone and now lay it in right off the shoulder or the shin pads of McNally. He tries to poke check it forward. Brett Jackson there, number 18, another player that puts the puck in the net for this team. And that one, lazy pop fly into the glove of Constantino.
Well, in the open, we talked about Johnny Ruiz, the captain of this Danbury Hat-Tricks team, and he's a crazy good athlete. He's a ball hockey superstar as well. Team USA, actually, plays in top division and ball hockey leagues around the USA. This guy can play all types of hockey, and he's the leading goal scorer as well with 14 points in just 10 games, 8 goals, 6 assists for Johnny Ruiz.
And the second line coming out here with Anderson, Kuznetsov, and Finberg for Danbury. And a short delay here as the officials talk things over. Face off to the left to Costantino, who gets the well-deserved second straight start. Anderson matched up with Lucchese here on this draw. And Lucchese will win it straight back, and Costantino will hang on to the puck right along the side of the net. Danbury wearing their road whites trimmed in the somewhat neon orange and the cool rabbit hat type logo, I guess we could describe it, on the front. They got the orange and black piping on the socks, main color white, and the Thunder in their true black home uniforms after wearing the camouflage last night. That was Anderson trying to tuck it towards the front of the net. Brennan comes out with it, tried the lead pass to Noah Wild, and now Atwell back out it behind his own net. Atwell taking a spill there was Noah Wild, and a shot from the point by Hansen, who did rub my bald head before the game for good luck. And so far so good with a 1-0 lead.
And now if I'm the Delaware Thunder, I'm throwing everything you can at Will McEwen in net, because that first goal is definitely one you want back. Not much traffic in the front of the net, off the blocker, off his back and in the net. You watch the replay there. That's not a dangerous shot, but it's smart by Lucchese.
Yeah, but when you're tired, just throw it at the net. As Coach McLean said before the game, he mentioned staying defensively aligned, steady out there. And for the most part, we saw that last night for this Thunder team. You mentioned during the pregame how that was likely their best game of the season so far.
It definitely was their best game of the season. This Thunder team played really good last night. And when it comes to a shootout, Dave, we talked about it a little bit, it doesn't matter who's better at the shootout. You know what I'm saying? It's a skills competition.
Absolutely.
That could go either way any night. Delaware could win 5. Danbury could win 5. Binghamton could win 5. Once it gets to that, it's a complete toss-up.
Aslan winning it forward. Yeah, the shootout becomes a singular focused sport at that point, as this one's going to be iced down and the Thunder will touch up. It becomes not a team game anymore once you get to that point.
Right, and we look to this Danbury bench. See number 17, Tom Bell. He was a Delaware Thunder for just one night here as he came over from the Swedish leagues. And now he ends up in Danbury and playing against his Thunder team tonight.
Sounds like the theme of Federal Hockey League play, just one night.
Here he is.
And there he is, Bell moving up with some speed. He's a big boy, goes around below the circle, trying to get it tucked into the corner. Mike Lopez out there. This is their third unit with White Duck also after the puck. Being chased down by Moritz, coming in as well. Brandon Beard, who scored last night. And McNally will settle things down behind the net. Aslan tried to move it up, and it comes right beneath us here in our broadcast vantage point, and an icing is going to be whistled, as going back to get it was Zach Lazaro, number 55. And the Thunder, after a great evening last night with Military Appreciation Night, Family Day here today, and a crowd starting to build here.
Yeah.
It was a little late arrival, maybe some
Right.
churchgoers, some NFL viewers. We won't mention that Giants-Eagles score, but we will keep you posted. And here's Johnny Ruiz off the draw. Timothy Payne pushed off the puck, and Lucchese comes out with it. He's our goal scorer, 1-0. 17:39 to go, and another icing.
Choppy play here in the first, Dave. This is more of what I expected with the tired legs and everything that we talked about. It's got to be red lining out, but these teams right now are only getting blue lining out as Let's Go Thunder chant erupts from the home crowd. And, Dave, we talked about it a little yesterday. Delaware's got to be much more steady in that D zone. So far, not too many shots on Mike Costantino. I just have the 2.
Yep, that would be correct. Bonnell with it. Oh, he fires one blindly. He was looking to his left, threw it on net, and Costantino had to be ready as he takes it on the logo crest. And we'll have another face-off.
And in my opinion, that's the first real shot of the game there.
Yeah, Costantino, as we mentioned, made a few dandies last night. Several, probably 4 or 5, where that game could have gotten out of hand. Ruiz off the draw. Tried to shovel it back. Bonnell comes away with it. Passes it in front to Jackson. And that one might have gone off the stick of Costantino. Now back to the corner. Noah Wild. He pitchforks it up to Adam Morgan. But it's retrieved back there by Vinny Susi. Another pretty familiar name here in this league. And Bonnell comes away with it. Up to Susi. Susi moving with Ruiz to his right. Now Ruiz comes back to the center. Winds and fires. And clinging it to the side of his body and blocker was Costantino, and another stoppage.
You kind of see what Johnny Ruiz can do there. Makes a dangerous chance out of really nothing. It's a 3-on-2, yes, but it's slow developing. Delaware's getting back into the play. And Johnny Ruiz just lines up a slap shot with McNally as a screen in front. Makes it a bit tougher on the goaltender, Mike Constantino, who made the save.
Anderson wins the draw forward. Tall Finberg went around by it, and now it comes back to the point. Aslan lost it, and now Anderson will backhand it back into the Danbury offensive zone. Hansen reversing course here to Aslan. He's muscled off the puck by Anderson, and now it's bounced up to the center ice dot. Alekin was after it. And finally getting to it there was Finberg. Now on a quick pass to Kuznetsov, back into the corner to Anderson and all the way out again. So, yeah, definitely choppy play as that one will not go for an icing. Circling behind his own net was Garrett Gallagher. Gallagher with a full head of steam, and he kicked it back up to his stick, moving into the slot area. Now he gets it back, and a flubber shot on the net, easily taken care of by Constantino. Brennan back out the other way. Big lead pass, and moving is Morgan on the backhand forward. He scores! Adam Morgan makes it 2-0 with a brilliant goal as he went backhand, forehand, and the Thunder take the early 2-0 lead.
Head up, Joe Brennan, head up. Great pass. Adam Morgan streaking out in front of the play. Fakes to the backhand, goes to the forehand over the blocker of Will McCune. And what do you know? 2-0 Thunder. What a play. All
Brilliant
around.
For Adam Morgan, that's goal number 7. Earlier, Lucchese got number 4. And now that puts Morgan tied for the team lead, or actually now has the team lead with 7 goals on the season. Puck going back into the corner. Comes out to Atwell, so the Thunder away and rolling here on this Sunday afternoon. Atwell trying to get it behind the net. McNally with the turnover. White Duck tried to throw it on the net, and it's intercepted. McNally coming back. Gets it to Morgan. Morgan's feeling it this afternoon. Throws it in front, and unable to corral it was McNally, and back out the other way. Lopez getting it up here to White Duck. White Duck behind the net. Tossed it out in front. Lucchese picks it off. Now Bonnell finds the puck. Loses that one wide, and now it comes back out in front. Pushed forward by Constantino, and back out to the neutral zone. Daniliuk getting it up to Jackson as they get this first line back on the ice as they finish the line change. Puck lofted into the corner. Brandon Beard there circles back on the nice pivot. Aslan now back up with the puck. Tries to get it to Alekin. Alekin with it. Roughed up by Joey Ruiz. Still has the puck. Alekin trying to throw it in front. He had Brandon Beard. Couldn't do it. And Bonnell gets it out to Jackson. Brett Jackson dropping it to Bonnell. Bonnell, one hand on the stick, lost the puck. Now he throws it out in front, and it eludes everyone, including Noah Wild, and chasing back after it is the defenseman Garrett Gallagher.
Well, playing with confidence is fun, Dave, and it looks like that's what the Thunder are doing. They're feeding off a good effort last night. Like we said, each team knew that shootout could have went either way, and Delaware looks really good in the early goings of this contest. And
hard after the puck here is Garrett Gallagher. We're under 15 minutes to play, first period. 2-0 lead for the Delaware Thunder over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Goals by Brandon Lucchese and Adam Morgan. And moving up the ice, Tyle Finberg as the second line is out there. Finberg, Kuznetsov, and Anderson. The two number 7s going at it. Morgan and Susi, and now it's back behind the net to a double 7. 77 Atwell. A strong pass up to Finberg, but he needs support. He's going to get it here with Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov on the backhand, and it goes well wide. Back into the corner again, Finberg. Trying to get some pressure there, Danbury, but McNally comes away with a puck. McNally, that pass too hot for Morgan, and it will be an icing in our first media timeout with the score. The Delaware Thunder leading it 2-0 here on DelawareThunder.com. And it looks like they're going to take that horn.
No media timeout after an icing, I was told.
Yeah. They're saying you're wrong, Mike. Because
they're saying I'm wrong. All right.
And we have a media timeout with the score, 2-0. And so we are back out of the media timeout. Dave Garson, Mike Basile here with the call. Thunder up 2-0 as they were last night. 13:25 to go here in the first period. Lazaro tried to throw one out the net. Brandon Beard back out the other way. Dump and chase. Aslan in it in the corner. But Bell, former Thunder player, or for one day, one night, and back into the corner. Mike Lopez was after it. Pushes it back to the point to Lazaro. Back to Lopez. Watch Bell out in front. Oh, there's a pass that eluded Daniliuk. And Bell couldn't get to it. Aslan trying to chase it back. Daniliuk back at the point and then pushed into the corner by White Duck. Aslan gloves it down, crosses the red line, now into the offensive zone, cuts to the middle, all the way to the left side, tried to toss it to Morgan, who was looking for goal number 2 on the night. Aslan finds the rebound, tosses it to Morgan, but he was on his backhand, and the pass was a little bit too far behind him, and the other way comes the puck. A turnover, and here's Bonnell. Bonnell moving in with the wrister, deflected off the skate of Timothy Payne, and now it's reversed up the other way, going right past the defenseman Atwell. No icing. 12:09 to go.
It's been back and forth now, Dave, since the goal. You saw a good chance by Bonnell at one end. At the other end, if Aslan could just find Morgan on his backhand, it's 3-0. McEwen was down and out. We might have seen McClendon.
Absolutely. With the 3-0 early lead, that would certainly get the coach looking to make a change. That's Coach McIsaac over there. For Danbury, Brennan getting it up to Noah Wild. Eludes the check. Alekin lost it. Punched up by Atwell. And coming away with it is Jackson. Jackson being joined by Bonnell. And Jackson with a right pad save Constantino. Alekin now over to Lucchese, who got the first goal of the hockey game. And settling it down is Anderson, number 27. Coming with some speed, fakes the slap shot, and that puck deflected off of Moritz's stick, and it'll come to the right of Constantino.
Hey, guess who caught the puck over there? That was Ryan Marker.
Oh, well, we
missing
certainly
today's
miss
game.
him. Yeah,
missing today's game.
Missing the last few, Ryan Marker.
Well, Dave, we talk about it a little early here. Everything's from the outside. Constantino sees it. Active sticks in the defensive zone by the Thunder. That's something they haven't been able to keep up through a full 60. They've done a great job early. Here's Morgan.
Kuznetsov turns it over to Morgan. Morgan with support from Aslan coming the other way, and Morgan lost it as he was stick checked away. Daniliuk had it. Now Aslan back with it. Aslan throws it in front of Morgan, and a sprawling save by McEwen. A beauty right there by McEwen, moving from right to left. And now here's Anderson trying to throw it in front to Finberg. And back to Kuznetsov. You got to watch Kuznetsov, number 28. Finberg back after it. Rolls it behind the net. And like a pinball machine, right back out by Brady Hansen. And now back below the circle. Anderson trying to tuck it in that short side. Constantino says not having anything of it. And another face-off.
Well, that's just a good work, good save all around by in the defensive zone. It starts with Nick McNally keeping Anderson to the outside. Yes, he ended up getting a little bit of inside position, but Constantino already had the puck covered for a whistle. This Thunder team has looked good early in this contest. The only person they got to slow down is Johnny Ruiz. He's flying around a bit.
Yes, Ruiz, the captain of this team, along with Kuznetsov, another one to keep our eyes on here. White Duck took the draw, comes back to the point. And a high-rising shot by Lazaro goes into the corner. And over there fighting for it was Lopez. Coming away with it is Lucchese. Lucchese firing it in. Alekin after it. And he'll come back the other way. Moritz will bring some calmness to the play, and it'll be wrapped around by Timothy Payne. Atwell. And it comes right back out to Noah Wild, who flings one right on the net. That's what they want to do. Keep the pucks directed at McEwen, and we'll have a face-off as that one hit him right in the Hat Tricks logo.
Yeah, McEwen settled into this game. A couple good saves. That one on Noah Wild, and we go back to the one on Adam Morgan. For a goaltender, Dave, you know this, it's all about anticipation. You have to be ahead of the play a step. That's where McEwen was. He knew Aslan couldn't score from where he was. Pass across to Morgan to a dangerous area, but he was a step ahead of everybody.
Absolutely. Bonnell patiently waiting. That puck skittered back behind the net. Ruiz tossed it out in front. He had Bonnell, but it didn't get to him, and Noah Wild coming back. Alekin trying to get to that pass. There will not be an icing as they were across the red line. And back behind the net, Susi dishes it up to Ruiz. The dangerous one, number 19, trying to go through 3 players here. Goes to the outside of the circle. With Jackson out there and Bonnell with his first line. And Bonnell had it. Pushed off by Beard. Behind the net, Jackson. Back to Ruiz. Ruiz trying to dipsy-do his way towards the net. Can't make it. Comes back to the point. Right to Ruiz. And a blocker save by Casatino. Aslan back out the other way. Aslan, who showed some nice spurts of speed in the games we've seen him play. That pass not going anyway, but to the stick of Lucchese. Lucchese all by him's lonesome, and an easy glove save by McEwen. And another media timeout here on DelawareThunder.com with the Thunder leading it 2-0, first period action. And so we are back, 8:57 remaining first period. Sunday matinee hockey, the Delaware Thunder up 2-0. Goals by Lucchese and Adam Morgan. And Dave Garson, Mike Basile. Lucchese will take the offensive zone draw against Anderson. Corey Anderson wins it back. To the point, Brady Hansen lets one loose, and it'll bounce right back out the other way to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov leading Finberg. Finberg taking off the puck nicely. Great back check by Hansen. Alekin flings it up to his line mate Noah Wild. Noah Wild, again, 1 against 2. He has some support behind him, but a nice defensive play by Daniliuk. Back up the ice, coming with the puck, Kuznetsov, dropping into Finberg and offsides. Finberg just in there a little too fast. Remember to stay tuned for the Holiday Inn Express first period intermission. We'll have those NFL scores for you. Those of you that are tuning in to us while watching the NFL games, let us know in the chat feature what's going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
Love to hear from you.
Danbury just a little bit off this far in the first period. A couple plays I'm sure they'd like to have back. A zone entry there, a simple one. They go offside, would have had a 3-on-2 coming in.
Anderson winning the draw. Atwell wearing number 77. Dumping it in deep all the way back around. Bounces out in front. And Brandon Beard will have to glide it out into the defensive zone. Right back out into neutral ice. Kuznetsov lofting it into Finberg. Back to Kuznetsov. Rolled to the point. And trying to get after it was White Duck. And he does get it behind the net. And a backhand pass, and that's going to miss everybody, including Vinny Zusi. And Casatino will set it up for Timothy Payne. Timothy Payne has been a steady defenseman over the weekend here. Game number 3 of 3 in a row. And for those of you that say, well, baseball teams play 10, 12 in a row. Hockey's a different sport, obviously much more physical. And, you think about hockey where you're out there for 40 seconds, and that's a long time.
That is a ridiculous amount of time that you don't even realize. Yeah. Anytime the shift gets over a minute and you're watching an NHL game, they start putting the clock up top like, oh, this guy's been out for a while. It's a grueling sport. Every time you're out there, you're taking contact.
Luke Casey tried to chip it out the net. Couldn't get it there, and right back out Vinny Susi trying to lead it to Bell. McNally, a little bit dangerous as he got close into the net. McNally gets it up to Wild. Wild to Lucchese. Again, Lucchese with the first goal of the game. And the Thunder have added to it. Alekin with it in the right corner. Tried to get it back to Lucchese. Rolls around on the boards. And a great pass now up to Mike Lopez. Lopez being kept to the outside by Moritz. Puck did bounce out in front. And an opportunity there for White Duck, but he couldn't finish it off. Right below us here in the broadcast booth, some rough stuff. And now we have ourselves, I believe,
Puck out of play.
puck out of play. I didn't know if they were calling an offsides there as well. And this faceoff will come out to center ice. Under 7 minutes now on the clock. 2-0 Thunder first period action from the Thunderdome.
Well, just like Binghamton, we see a ton of their first line, Danbury as well. The Thunder roll their lines back and forth, back and forth. We see Johnny Ruiz almost every other shift, it seems like.
Yep, and there's his line mate Jackson. Tries to do the 360, but he's taken away by Hansen. Puck coming to Atwell, Bonnell. And that first line, Ruiz back to Bonnell. And Bonnell tried to get the backhand in order, couldn't. Now he's in the corner. Timothy Payne, Brandon Beard over there as well. Some support for Danbury. It's Bonnell and Jackson, and they're just trying to get it out of some skates, and Brandon Beard comes away with it. Beard below the goal line, up to Adam Morgan, who scored the second goal of this game. High up into the air, Jackson to Bonnell to Ruiz, who turns, fires, and it is not in the net. How did it stay out? I have no idea. Atwell at the point. Tried to lay one towards the net, and finally the Thunder tried to clear, kept in brilliantly by Atwell. Ruiz, who was looking toward the heavens, had no idea how that puck didn't go in, and I don't think Constantino knew either.
Johnny Ruiz in that area is super dangerous. Constantino got a piece and it rolled behind the net. Wow.
Asselin had it behind. Now Luke Casey. And finally Danbury getting the line change. Speaking of being out there a while, Kuznetsov coming up the ice, head up. Passes it over to Finberg. Finberg dropping it to Kuznetsov. Tough angle shot. And that one will go out of play. But back to that opportunity in front of the net. Woo. That was at least two chances. Bonnell was in there, as well as Ruiz, and neither of them could put the puck in the net.
I think it was a freaky play. It hit Constantino's glove, rolled off his pad, and he pushed off on his right foot. It hit it and squeaked out from behind the net. Absolutely a big save there. That looked like interference.
And back at the point was Kuznetsov. A pass over. And taking that shot was Vinny Susi. Another opportunity off the stick of Daniliuk, and now back into the Danbury side of the ice. Susi turned it over to Lucchese, and now Susi back as we are under 4 minutes remaining first period. 2-0 Thunder.
Yeah, and it's been all Thunder for the first half of the period, and now it's been a lot of Danbury hat tricks hockey. They have turned the pace of this period around. See if Lucchese can start something up here.
Lucchese, who's had a nice 3-day holiday weekend here. Oh, and it's chipped wide by Brandon Beard. He had that corner, and he was aiming for it. Now back at the point, Timothy Payne, and getting in there was Finberg. I think that puck broke his stick. Adam Morgan with a great move, keeps it along the ice, and a pad save by McEwen. Back at the point, Thunder had it in for just a second, but it'll roll back as the Thunder complete the line change. Timothy Payne, the one strangler, still out there. McNally will wait. The third line out there for Danbury now. Far side, center ice. Lopez with Bell and White Duck. White Duck was looking for that pass, goes into the zone. McNally, after getting the puck slightly stopped by Constantino. Aslan lost it. White Duck back to the point, and that one's in. A firing shot that went off the crossbar and in by Zach Lazaro, and it's 2-1. That was an odd play.
That's why you take away the eyes of the goaltender, Dave. It's a simple chip in. Mike Constantino went out to play it. Delaware doesn't clear. They start the rotation, get it to the half wall, work it to the corner, bring it out top. Just a seeing eye shot through traffic over the blocker of Constantino, and it's 2-1.
And it appeared that maybe it hit off the crossbar and bounced straight down as Lazaro tingles the twine and cuts the lead to 2-1. And right back to the action, McNally with the puck. And once again, the Thunder jump out to a lead, and now it's getting chopped into. Morgan with the shot off the pad of McEwen, and it lays out in front for Jackson as they go right back to the first line. Watch it here. Bonnell with Ruiz tracking down the right wing side. Great play by McNally defensively, trying to feed Alekin. Comes back to the point. to Daniliuk, and chips back behind Bonnell. This line just stays out there all game. Jackson attempted to get it to Bonnell, but it bounces up to the Thunder, and out it goes for the icing.
Well, I tell you, it's exactly like Binghamton. They have 3 lines here, right? It's a 1-2, 1-2-3. 1-2, 1-2-3. That's how you rotate the third line in, and they got the lone goal tonight. I know it was a defenseman who scored, but they were on the ice.
Well, it worked for Binghamton. We'll see if it works for Danbury. Under 3 minutes to go. Media timeout, 2-1 Thunder. And so we are back at the Thunderdome, rocking out some 80s music. Under 3 minutes to play, 2:53 to be exact. Thunder jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Brandon Lucchese, Adam Morgan, but a odd shot from the point by Zach Lazaro has cut it to 2-1. Face off to the right of Mike Costantino. Costantino playing his second straight game here. Alekin lost the puck. McNally now goes to retrieve, as Mike was saying before we headed into the break. They just keep going pretty much with 2 lines, Danbury, and they're 2 good lines. Right now it's the Kuznetsov line with Anderson and Finberg. Brennan behind the net says, let's chill it out a little bit. It's matinee hockey action. 3rd game in 3 nights for the Thunder. Lucchese will float it in. McEwen looks a little shaky. That might be an understatement, Mike.
He was pretty deep in his crease for that one. Instead of coming out to meet it on a fly, he waited for a bounce, which as a goalie, you know you probably shouldn't do that. That puck can bounce any which way when it gets on edge. And could have been 3-1 from a distant shot.
Garrett Gallagher, who showed some nice moves defensively, got right by, slipped by Brady Hansen behind the net. Now it's Anderson. Anderson waits, tries to get it to Kuznetsov. And now Finberg, puck pop flying in the air. Kuznetsov gets hit up in the face, and there's no penalty coming here. Kuznetsov, and now it's Hansen mixing it up with Finberg. Are they going to drop the gloves? They look, they say, we're a little tired here. I don't think we want to drop them.
I don't even think it was Hansen who made the hit. It was Beard.
It might have been Beard that came in, and there is a penalty. They're going to call interference, but this must be the official from
way out called it. Yeah, the official from way out called it.
And I'm trying to see here on the replay as Hansen had some fisticuffs here as we try to get the call here.
Got the training staff out on the ice here.
Yep.
Interference I'm not too sure about there. The puck was at his feet, so that's always a tough call. You never want to see a player go down, that's for sure. Good to see Kuznetsov's right back up.
Kuznetsov back on his feet. 9 goals on the season. And I thought he got hit up with a stick, but that wouldn't be the case if they're calling interference here. Penalty on Brandon Beard. You were correct, Mike. So the first power play of the evening for Danbury.
Well, the last 2 nights, if you said Brandon Beard, you were probably right? That's his 10th penalty minute in just 2 games.
He had an appetizer, main course, and dessert in there last night. As Danbury goes to the power play, and Danbury on the season, 18%. And the penalty kill for the Thunder on the season, cranking at 85%. They'll send out Ruiz, along with Jackson and Bonnell, that top line. Atwell got it over to Garrett Gallagher. Ruiz, Gallagher, Ruiz, and that one's deflected out of play off the stick of Moritz. And again, 1:29 to go in the period. You're shorthanded. Got to keep them off the board.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where it's active sticks in the defensive zone. Delaware Thunder, J.C. Moritz, number 13 in particular. But Artem Alekin, too, at the top. Forcing passes not where they need to be, not tape to tape. Johnny Ruiz didn't get what he wanted on that shot, and J.C. Moritz had plenty of time to make sure he blocked it and got it out of play.
Ruiz to Gallagher to Atwell. Atwell walks the line, throws it on net, and a great play. That seemed like an easy save, but moving from right to left, a glove save for Cosentino.
Mike Cosentino saw it the whole way, flashes the glove out with 1:17 to go in period one. It's a 2-1 hockey game.
1:36 on that power play. Ruiz tried to win it to his right to Bonnell. Alekin in the corner, 3 against 2 over there. Ruiz comes away with it. Gets it to Atwell with the Ray Bork, number 77. Bonnell into the corner to Jackson, who tried the little move, forward backhand, couldn't get it by Constantino. Atwell. And Bonnell back to Ruiz. Ruiz got it back and he scored. Oh, it hit the post. How did it stay out? Oh, I thought that was clearly in the net. Pardon me, it's still 2-1. And Ruiz again looks to the sky. Gallagher, and that one's chipped away by Wild. Brennan comes away with it. 35 seconds to go here in the first period. 50 seconds left on the power play, and this one's cleared all the way down. How did that stay out?
Might be one of those nights for Johnny Ruiz. It's the perfect give and go. He takes a big sigh as he heads to the bench. He knows he should have had one there. It looked like that hit the inside of the post, came back out behind Mike Cosentino. 15 seconds of the period, one last rush.
There's Corey Anderson. Good play by Timothy Payne to get it back out of the zone. Circling back is Kuznetsov, gets it to Anderson. Anderson will dump and chase, but that should just about do it here, and it does for first period action with the score the Delaware Thunder 2 and the Danbury Hat-Tricks 1. We'll pause and be back with a first period intermission report brought to you by the Holiday Inn Express. And we're back here on the Holiday Inn Express. First period intermission with the score, Delaware 2 and Danbury 1. Update, the first goal has been changed from Brandon Lucchese to Noah Wild. They're saying it deflected off of Noah Wild. So Noah Wild with the first goal of tonight's game, and that was followed by a nice play by Adam Morgan as the Thunder took a 2-0 lead. But it was short-lived as the hat tricks came back. Zach Lazaro with a kind of a high-rising weak shot that hit off the crossbar, bounced down behind Pasatino, and it's 2-1 at the end of one. We thought this would be a slow start to the game. Turned out the Thunder came out with the quick power play goal, which again is now being given to Noah Wild, not Lucchese. So Lucchese will have that goal come off the board, and for Noah Wild, that'll be team leading goal number 8, as Adam Morgan now has 7 on the season. Danbury pretty much exclusively going with those top 2 lines and mixing in the third line occasionally. They may have had 2 or 3 shifts in that first period, and as Mike mentioned, Delaware's been rolling all 3 throughout that first period. Good crowd on hand here at the Thunderdome. Matinee hockey moving into early evening as the Thunder still looking for that first win of the year following a shootout loss last night. We're going to come back. We're going to give you scores from the NFL, the NHL, and the FHL. More to come here on the Holiday Inn Express first period intermission. And so we are back here in the Holiday Inn Express first period intermission. Scores from the NFL. How about it? The Cincinnati Bengals leading the Pittsburgh Steelers 41-3 under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers battling it out with the Colts. They lead 28-24. They're second and goal from the Indianapolis 6. The Dolphins over the Panthers 33-10. Patriots dominating the Titans 35-13. My Eagles trailing right now 13-7 to the Giants, but driving at midfield with 2 minutes remaining. Falcons up by a touchdown 21-14 over the Jaguars. And how about the Jets? In search of win number 3, they're up 21-14 over the Texans. Plenty of action later on in the NFL. Hockey-wise, the Capitals keep on rolling. They beat the Hurricanes 4-2. And at the end of 2 periods of play, the Lightning 2-2 with the Minnesota Wild. We'll get you an update on Federal Hockey League scores as well. This one, the only game being played right now this afternoon with the Thunder leading at 2-1. It'll be Columbus playing a little bit later. Or actually, no, this is... let's see. Confusing the scores here. It says Watertown defeated Columbus 9-0. So we'll keep those scores up to date as they get updated on the FPHL site. Here, Delaware Thunder lead at 2-1 at the end of one. Well, second period action. Dave Garson, and I'll be joined by Mike Basile in just a bit. Stick with us here on DelawareThunder.com. And so we are back, getting set for second period action. Delaware Thunder leading it 2-1. Dave Garson now joined by Mike Basile. Thoughts on that first period, Mike, which was off to a quick start. Thunder jumped out to the 2-0 lead, but then Danbury got their legs and got back in it.
Well, Dave, we talked about it. The early start, it's going to be tough for, both of these teams, but Delaware did great. Shots on net early. It was Noah Wild. We talked about during the intermission the goal changed to Noah Wild, that first goal from Lucchese, and then Morgan with the absolutely beautiful stretch pass from Joe Brennan. Delaware was on this Danbury Hat-Tricks team early. Danbury fought back in that second, and that late first, I should say. I really liked the way they played later in that first. Got a couple seconds of power play, just under 20 left here for them to maybe create something early, at least get some zone time, see if they could tie it up very early in this period.
And, Mike, the big question is, can Danbury, as exhausted as they are, continue to just basically run two lines out there throughout this game?
Well, I think we're going to see more of that third line with Michael Lopez on it. I think this team is just going to run themselves ragged, if not, and Delaware the same way. We're going to see a good mix of players here for Delaware. Whatever they got, you're going to see, because they have a short bench as well.
Yeah, Coach McLean has done a good job rotating those lines and mixing it up as the teams get back on the ice surface for second period action. Mike Cosentino, not heavily tested in that first period. He made a couple nice ones in his second straight start. And Will McEwen on the other side was a little shaky at times. But that's why you got to keep firing pucks this way, especially on the power play, or pardon me, on the penalty kill. They'll come off, but coming off of that, get some shots his way.
Yeah, it's all about the play in front of the net. The most important defenseman is who's ever standing right in front of the net. Who's ever standing there, clear bodies, and work your way out of a tough position.
For those of you keeping an eye on that Giants-Eagles game, while tuning in to us, 54 seconds to go. Eagles have the ball in the Giants' 27. Second and 10 from there. 13-7 right now. Giants ahead. Touchdown and an extra point would give the Eagles the win, and which has been a calamitous day for Jalen Hurts, who's thrown 3 picks. But hockey action here, matinee style. Sun's still out, as I can see through the entrance over there. Moving into this second stanza, Lucchese will match up with Johnny Ruiz, and we're underway here. Atwell getting it up to Ruiz. 13 seconds left on the power play. Ruiz with Jackson and Bonnell. Back to the point, Atwell. Atwell looking, lets it loose. Oh, and it deflected. Constantino didn't even see it. Back in the corner is Gallagher. Penalty is just about over. Jackson below the goal line. Back to the point. Here comes Brandon Beard to make it even strength. Atwell tries to make a move. He's tossed aside by Brandon Beard. Out the other way is Lucchese. So Lucchese not getting credit for that goal. He's trying to get one there, but Atwell will come up with the puck, flick it up and into the Thunder bench. Coach McLean doing the duties there tonight. Coach Penn's a little bit under the weather. But Coach Penn's, as he talked to you before last evening's game, wanted a response, and I certainly think they did get that response. Now it's about finishing it completely off and getting the victory here today.
Right. You have the lead again. We talked about wanting to see this team play with a lead a little more and a little better. They haven't had the lead in the third period of a game yet. Obviously, we're not close to there. We got a long second period ahead. Let's see if they can shut it down here in the second, maybe add a goal or two.
Here's Finberg on that right wing side. Moved in front. Anderson was there. Now Kuznetsov. Oh, a tricky one that bounced around in the pads of Cosentino, and he was able to put the glove down on it and get the stoppage just about a minute into play. Second period. Dave Garson, Mike Basile, glad you could join us here on DelawareThunder.com.
That was the first goal last night, wasn't it? Olesi from
it
behind
was,
the net,
absolutely.
banked in. Off
I don't want to
stick.
hear that name anymore.
I know.
Olesi,
we said it too much.
Ivechkin. Let's move on from those Bayham and Black Bears. Anderson off the draw. Kuznetsov comes away with it. Spins it behind Brennan. Now over is Finberg. Hansen threw a hip into him and back out the other way. Lucchese to Alekin. Alekin threw it on the net. Stick save by McEwen. It goes around behind. Daniliuk lost it right back. Alekin fired one and a quick right pad save by McEwen. Lucchese comes away with it at center. And the Thunder will regroup in their own zone. They got to be careful here as Danbury got the line change done before they did. And here comes Brennan. Hits it off the Dashers, and it comes out here to Daniliuk. Daniliuk tossed it in. Finberg was after it. Finberg getting a double shift here. Now playing on that third line. And the puck bounced around in the neutral zone. Finally taken by Brennan, who leads it up to Adam Morgan. Morgan, who has a goal, gets it off the pad and then into the glove of McEwen for the stoppage 2 minutes in, second period.
It's a good save by McEwen. Tough wrister by Adam Morgan in the low slot. And that's a big save into his glove. Cover up for a whistle.
Face off to the right of McEwen. Brandon Beard off the draw. Wins it back to the point. Moritz gloves it down. Then he lost it. He shoved aside. And coming back the other way is Lopez. And Lopez lost it to Timothy Payne. Backhander to Moritz. So you got Lopez and Bell out there. Bonnell also. They're changing up the lines a bit here in this second period. White Duck, number 14. Bell, number 17. Bonnell, number 9. Lazaro, the goal scorer, gets it up here. White Duck with the puck, moving well. Left side. And he'll go all the way around. Try the wraparound, comes right back in front. And shooting and scoring is Brett Jackson, who just came off the bench. Got the pass from White Duck, and we're knotted at 2.
Just a good play coming around the net by White Duck. The centering pass, tape to tape, into the back of the cage. No chance for goaltender Mike Costantino, and we're tied at 2.
So eerily similar to last night as the Thunder built that 2-0 lead, only to see it slip away, and it happens again here. And now you got to keep Ruiz away from the puck. Johnny Ruiz, very dangerous. Jackson still out there, who just scored that goal. Ruiz throwing it out to Bonnell, and it hit some pads out in front. I don't think it got through to Costantino. Ruiz trying to set up a cycle with himself, gets it to Jackson. Jackson attempted to throw it out in front, could not. And Brennan gets it up on that far side.
Don't know what happened to Gordy Bonnell, but he's down on the Danbury Hat-Tricks bench behind us here. Didn't see what happened to him. He took the big shot. It got blocked by McNally, which you talked about, Dave. He goes to the bench hunched over, and he's behind the bench here on all fours.
That would be a huge loss for this team. Finberg getting it up here to Jackson. Got this game at Deuces Wild, 2-2, second period. Atwell had his head down. Now he lifts it up, and away he goes. He's got Anderson joining him. Atwell! And right into the breadbasket of Costantino, who didn't like that he got an extra shove. Neither did Moritz. And how are we doing over there with Bonnell? As he seemed to be, he's heading to the locker room, it appears.
Yeah, Gordy Bonnell is way in the back of the bench now, hunched over. Trainer's heading over to see him. We'll keep an eye out on Gordy Bonnell here, as they just figured out that he's keeled over here behind the bench. But J.C. Moritz did not like Atwell too close to Costantino. Just gave him a quick hug and threw him on the other side.
Absolutely, and for those of you just joining us out of the Eagles game with the Giants winning 13-7, we've got the first goal for Noah Wild in that first period came off, initially it was Lucchese's. That's a glove save by Costantino. Adam Morgan made it 2-0 Thunder. Lazaro with a late goal for the Hat-Tricks in that first period. And White Duck, number 14, tying it at 2-2. And that's where we are, 16-16 to play. Second period. Face off to the right of Costantino. Comes back to the point. And now it's Kuznetsov laying it over. And losing control of it was Vinny Susi. And now we have a cross-check coming up off that outlet pass.
On the back.
And it's going to be against Danbury. Or pardon me, against the Thunder.
Yeah, it was right on the back there in front of the net. A couple players went down. And now Delaware will go short. It's Brady Hansen going to the box.
So Hansen, as we mentioned, had the good luck bald head rub before the game. We'll find out if that turns out to be the winning touch. Atwell back at the point. This dangerous power play, and Bonnell's back on the ice. 4 minutes in, second period play. Danbury firing one, and just see at the last second was Costantino. And he got it off that shoulder. Johnny Ruiz Back to Garrett Gallagher, who laid one on the net. It goes back around the other side. Brandon Beard comes away with it and shoves it past Gallagher all the way down the ice.
Well, things are starting to heat up in this second period, and let's remember this is the first of 3 straight meetings between these two teams. First one here, the next two in Danbury next weekend.
Bonnell, number 9, moving in. Left side. Dumps it behind the net, using that play off the boards. Johnny Ruiz comes back. Near side. Mid-circle. Over to Jackson. Throw it back to Gallagher. Couldn't. Ruiz comes away with it. He wrists it, and it hits the pads of Constantino. Still lost in there. Jackson comes away with it. Other side. Ruiz back to the point to Gallagher. And what do you know? That far left post comes off the moorings.
They were actually working on that in between periods here, just 10 seconds away from the media timeout. Maybe they could have came out and put a little more water down there. I saw that's what they were doing in between periods, because that far net seems to be the one that pops off a little bit more. But Johnny Ruiz, you kind of see how good he is on his edges as he works to the front of the net on Family Day here at the Thunderdome.
Yeah, we've got Anderson, Kuznetsov, and Finberg out there now. Second unit for the power play. 15-10 on the clock, 1:05 on this man advantage. Anderson wins the draw right back to the point, and Vinny Susi was unable to keep it in. He'll circle back into his own zone. Brady Hansen serving a penalty here. 52 seconds remain on it. Here comes Kuznetsov, and you got to watch him. All the way to the right, stops on a dime, tries to throw it to Finberg, picked off by Alekin, and all the way down it goes. 40 seconds remaining on the power play.
And it was Tim Payne back in his own zone. It's just a good defensive play. He's been very steady and reliable since the Thunder have picked him up in Binghamton that second weekend of this season.
Anderson with the puck now on the dish from Kuznetsov, and now they play a little back and forth. And the puck deflects back out to center ice, and just 20 ticks left on this power play for Danbury. They got behind 2-0 and have now tied it up with a goal here in the second period by White Duck.
Alekin in the defensive zone has been quite stellar tonight as well, and people realize he scored a couple goals last night, so the last 2 games I should say, so that's where they notice him. But we up here have noticed him in the defensive zone as well, just as important. Coach McLean says if you score 2 and you give up 2, it doesn't help you.
Absolutely. We have a media timeout. We're all tied at 2. Second period, 14:05 to go here on DelawareThunder.com. And so we are back 2-2, even strength, 14:05 remaining second period. Thunder and the hat tricks. Morgan, he had an opportunity in front, and McEwen still waiting for the whistle. The puck was loose along the side of the net, and it's picked up by Lopez, and now it's going to come out. White Duck, the goal scorer, laid it into the corner. McNally after it. Moritz backhands it the other way to Lucchesi. At the point, a quick shot off the stick of Lazaro, who scored the first goal in that first period for the hat tricks, and easily handled by Cosentino.
Lazaro just off the wall with the shot, and we're seeing a lot of that tonight. Not many set plays, not much going on, just tired legs, pucks going to the front of the net. I do like Delaware in the defensive zone tonight. That one breakdown really this period, other than that, it's been real solid.
Right back to this first line for the hat tricks. There's Ruiz along the ice. Easy stick save for Cosentino. Back at the point, gets by Daniliuk, and back Atwell travels for it. Quick pass up, Jackson. As a goal in this period, the game tying goal. Alekin moving up. Right wing side. Alekin on the backhand. And it goes across the crease to the other side of the ice. Jackson tried to get it. Brandon Beard picked it off. Beard looking in front to Alekin. He lost it, and out comes Jackson to Ruiz. And they'll spread out and set up a 2-on-2. Ruiz moving in. Lets the wrister go off the glove of Constantino and then cleared out. I think Brady Hansen got in there. Alekin back the other way. Alekin, he'll shoot one wide, and it'll come back out the other way to Brandon Beard, who lost his stick. It was chipped away by Bonnell. Bonnell comes away with a puck behind his own net. Patrick's wearing their white road uniforms. Thunder in their home blacks. And here's Susi. Stop, pops, and loses the puck. And Atwell will shoot it right at his own player, Jackson. And Jackson looks back at him like, dude, what are you doing here? And I think he used the word dude, in fact.
The worst offside you can have for Danbury. Your own player gets beamed with a puck, got a broken stick back at the other end of the play. I think that was Brady Hansen's twig that snap there.
The official getting a chuckle out of it as well as Lucchese wins the draw at center ice. McNally will travel back. 12:24 on this second period clock. Behind the net, rolled around by Finberg, and Morgan has it. Tried to get it up to Lucchese, unable to do so. And Lazaro pitchforked it up right beneath us here from our broadcast vantage point. Finberg comes away with it, drops it off to Anderson. Anderson a wrister, and it hit the crossbar and goes out of play. I believe it hit the corner where the crossbar and the post meet in that left corner. And it goes out of play.
That's exactly right. They call him Scory Anderson in Danbury, and that's exactly why. I know he didn't score there, but a perfect shot right over the blocker of Mike Constantino, who tell you, I was in perfect position.
And the draw will come to the right of Constantino. Anderson will take it. Gets it right back to the point. Atwell lets it loose. Hit a player in front. Might have hit Alekin or Brandon Beard. Nevertheless, Alekin comes away with it. He battles all the way behind the net. Atwell takes him off the puck. And Gallagher getting it up to Kuznetsov, who tried to feed it to Anderson. Payne comes with it to Brennan. And we're back out to neutral zone ice. Coming in is Anderson, and that one got away from him up into the netting.
I know he's taken a couple penalties these last couple nights, but I like the way Beard's been playing. He scores the goal late, throwing his body around a little bit more. See him on the power play and the penalty kill. Players like that are super useful to a team, and right now Brandon Beard's making the most of his time.
2-2 the score, 11:32 remain here. Second period, Dave Garson, Mike Basile with the action. They're going to have this mixed third unit out there with Jackson taking the draw with Lopez. That puck deflected up and out of play once again. So they have Lopez with White Duck, who has a goal, along with former Thunder player Tom Bell.
Now we're getting a bit of that choppy play, right, Dave, where looks like the legs get a little tired sometimes in between the periods. But again, Delaware with the active sticks, I'd say way upwards of maybe 15 shots blocked tonight by the Thunder. Probably closing in on 20 already.
Absolutely. Moritz tosses it behind the net to Brady Hansen. Hansen to Asselin. Asselin waiting. Tossed it out to center ice. And Lopez was able to come away with it. This one off of Moritz's stick right to Lopez. Lopez did not get much on that one as he just kind of soft tossed it on net. He was under pressure, and we have another stoppage.
Well, that's what we talk about, that bouncing puck, right? Anytime that puck is bouncing around, it's tough to be settled, and J.C. Moritz couldn't knock it down. Brady Hansen helped him out, causing pressure, so the shot stayed low on the ice for Mike Constantino.
And if you're just joining us, it was Lucchese who was initially credited with the first goal of the game for the Thunder. It is now being given to Noah Wild, who takes the team leading goals with 8, and an opportunity in front for Bell, and he ends up on his backside. Behind the net now is Lopez. Lopez, number 16, and Payne got it up. Alekin with a nice backhand feed to Brandon Beard, who scored last night. He also spent plenty of time in the box and had a penalty earlier. Susi pass to Bell. Bell will dump and change quickly. Constantino sets it up for Payne, and it gets away from Noah Wild. He's not happy with that. Lazaro, who had that earlier goal, got it up to Bonnell. Timothy Payne has played very well defensively, Mike. Very steady back there. Uh-oh. Big opportunity here. Taking the wrist shot was Garrett Gallagher, and a nice play by Casatino, and another one. That one a little bit easier again from Gallagher. Garrett Gallagher wearing number 2 out there. A couple seconds shy out, so they'll drop this puck, and on the next stoppage we'll have that media timeout. 2-2 here, Mike.
And again, every time someone gets that front of the net now, Delaware laying a body, giving a little shot, making sure they know we don't want you near the crease here. And that's going to pay dividends down the line. If you know you don't want players in front of the net, you're going to get hit. They're going to stop coming there.
That puck came out in front and now is laced back down the ice. Lazaro chasing. Under pressure from Adam Morgan, who scored the second goal. Jackson getting it to Bonnell, and he scores. Right through the 5-hole, and I'm sure Casatino wants that one back unless it deflected. But it appears Bonnell getting the easy one, and a 3-2 lead now for Danbury.
Well, it's a goal scorer's goal, right? He sets up the screen. I believe it was number 20, Nick McNally, that pulled the screen on his own goaltender. Casatino couldn't pick it up till late. Yep, it was McNally right there. And Casatino just under the arm, I think it got him actually, right, Dave, there? Right through the 8-hole, they call it.
Yeah, it might have dropped a little bit closer to the 5-hole area. Either way, it was one that Casatino would like to have back as one of the leading goal scorers on this Hat-Tricks team. With 3 unanswered now, Danbury to take a 3-2 lead under 10 minutes on this second period stanza clock. Lucchese trying to respond here. It's getting late. Almost halfway through this hockey game. Anderson moving well. Just dished it in front. And now, we were saying earlier about throwing pucks at McEwen. He's been pretty quiet down there as we have a little bit of physicality behind the net. Now it's Casatino. You know as a goalie as well as I, when you give up one you want back, you're a little nervous for those next few shots.
Of course, yeah, that's just how it is. Obviously, you know, you're always going to think about that one, but like we said, short memory as we get to our media timeout with 9:32 to go in period number 2.
And we're back. 9:32. Second period. 3-2 Danbury. 3 unanswered goals. Dave Garson, Mike Basile here. Aslan trying to get to the puck. Had to move it over to Lucchese. Danbury's going to come away with it. But no, Aslan will sneak out. Gets it to Moritz, the big defenseman. Number 13, dumping it in. Susi taken off the puck by Aslan. Aslan threw it out in front. But it's going to be intercepted and brought back the other way. Anderson on the backhand, gets it to Finberg. He whiffed, he got the puck back. It's laying in the crease, and that one was saved by Moritz because it was heading in the net. Susi keeps it in. He dealt with some roughhousing, and there's going to be a penalty. It might be against Noah Wild. We'll
Brady
see.
Hansen.
Or actually, it's Hansen again. I should have known. Noah Wild's chirping it up with Finberg. And Hansen will go to the box, and after you've given up 3 straight, you don't want to take a penalty. But the Thunder will be shorthanded on the season. 85% penalty kill. This Hat-Tricks team is yet to get their power play up to snuff, 18%.
Going back, phenomenal play by J.C. Moritz in front, huh? Puck's behind him. He sprawls around and hits it with his elbow pad, it looked like. Knocked it out of the air, the bouncing puck. And Brady Hansen was coming to the penalty box here and saying it was a bit of a dive by the Danbury player.
Bonnell behind the net. He has the game-leading goal right now. Dishing it back with Jackson. Jackson lofts it back to the point. Atwell over to Gallagher to Atwell. Atwell corrals it with a stick to Jackson, who also has a goal. Atwell, he can shoot. He lays one in, and I don't know how that one didn't deflect. It's a rip around, and it deflected, and it's in. Ruiz turned around, and that puck somehow got to him on the wraparound, wraparound, and it went off the inside of the pad of Cosentino, I think, into the net, and it's a power play goal, and they've doubled the lead 4-2.
Well, we talked about Ruiz in the open a little bit, being one of the more dangerous players, the captain, and it's a wraparound goal. Cosentino is trying to adjust from the first deflection that just went wide. Ruiz quickly caught him off guard, wrapped it home, and into the back of the net.
So now 4 unanswered for Danbury, as they've really stepped into it here. And they're adding some players, well, not adding, but players we haven't seen. Farsad is out there, I believe, on his first shift of the game, number 32. Haven't seen him much at all.
No.
Alekin. Morgan unable to get to the puck, and Lopez comes back. Lopez moving well. Threw it out in front, and I think we're starting to see some of the tiredness really sink in for this Thunder team. The next goal critical in this hockey game. Alekin taking off the puck. Back behind the net by Lopez, and out it comes. And this will not be an icing as it falls right on Cosentino, but we do have a high sticking penalty coming up, and it's going against the Thunder. And
Ref's going to check on Lopez. Sorry, Dave. Make sure there's no blood.
Yeah.
Lopez is going straight to the room, it looks like.
And
I don't see any blood, though, up there. Looks like it's just going to be a 2, and yes, it is.
Yeah, I was going to say this Thunder team needs to be a little bit more disciplined now that they've given up 4 in a row.
Well, it's an offensive zone penalty, Dave, and no matter which way you cut it, those are unacceptable. I know he's trying to lift the stick there of Lopez to win the puck battle, but you got to be careful. Now you're down 2 going short-handed, and it's a lot of pressure on this Thunder penalty kill unit that was only out there 30 seconds ago.
So Artem Alekin taking the penalty. Moritz getting support from Lucchese. This first line, this top power play for Danbury. Bonnell, who has a goal, to Atwell. He's got a shot, and he lets it fly. And a nice save by Cosentino. Out it goes, Noah Wild. McEwen could have taken a nap in this period, as he has seen very little rubber.
Well, it's been too many penalties for Delaware this period.
Bonnell.
And they just got to stay out of the box.
Cutting it in front. He kept it along the ice. They seem to see a little bit of a gap in the 5-hole area on Cosentino. Gallagher over to Ruiz. Wrister laying there. What a save! Sticking out the left pad, Cosentino. And robbing Ruiz again. And Gallagher now at the left point. Sneaking in was Jackson. Bonnell taking off the puck nicely by Lucchese. Jackson. And here the hash mark. Now back to Gallagher. Gallagher fakes over to Atwell. Heavy shot from this man. Atwell just laid one on. Speaking of not a heavy shot was that one. Ruiz, the captain, back to Gallagher. Gallagher walking the line. Back to Ruiz. Fires off the outside of the net. Even tossed the water bottle a bit into the air. Jackson to the point. 42 seconds on the power play. 6:28 to go in the period. Gallagher with a snapshot deflected off the glass, stays in play. Atwell at the point, 34 seconds. Atwell fires, and it goes wide. Hit a body in front, right out in front. Bonnell, and then rebound to Jackson. He scores. Another power play goal as Jackson had it lay right on his stick and had a yawning open net. It's 5-2.
That was a tired group of penalty killers. They were out there for the full 134. Danbury takes a 5-2 lead. The shot came from Atwell. It just sat loose in front of the net. Cosentino didn't get the help out in front, and they tap it in the yawning cage. 5-2 hat tricks.
And that was a great play, looking at the replay by Bonnell to dish it over on the backhand to Jackson. As I mentioned, had that open net, and it's now 5-2. 6:10 remaining second period, and this one has turned on a dime. It was really a good hockey game, and now it's starting to go the other way.
Dave, one thing you can't do, when you're short, long weekend, you can't stay short for an extended period of time. And unfortunately for Delaware, they spent a little too much time in the box. But let's see if they could turn this around here, get a little rubber on McEwen, and swing the tide in this contest.
Here's Bell, big number 17. Passed it, got the puck back. Oh, he laid it across the blue paint. Couldn't get it over to his line mate Mike Lopez, and the puck comes back out. McEwen very, very easy period for him. He was under some duress in that first period. And can you believe it? Danbury was behind 2-0 in this hockey game. Now they lead at 5-2. Lazaro, who started the scoring for Danbury, just getting that into the zone. McNally behind his net, getting the breakout going. Turnover. Here's Kuznetsov, and a nice save by Constantino. Awkward one at that, but he came away with it. Kuznetsov gets the puck back. Adam Morgan looked a little tired there. Kuznetsov threw it into the corner, back out the other way for Aslan. Aslan backhands it in. They'll finish off the line change, and here comes Anderson. One of the big differences you notice with Danbury is their power play is much better, at least in this game, than we saw from Binghamton the last few. They really set it up nicely.
Well, it's a good puck-moving power play. That's what it is. They have Johnny Ruiz in the bumper, and he's kind of the quarterback at the bumper spot, which you don't usually see. He doesn't always shoot from there. He makes that extra pass. He's dangerous in that area.
And I got to ask the question, could we see, and I'm not saying Constantino's at fault in this one, a goaltender change for the start of the third, give Constantino a little bit of a break?
I wouldn't be surprised if we do, just something to get a little life in the legs, because we got 24-26 left in this contest. Delaware needs 3 goals.
And we've got a media timeout. 5-2 the score. Danbury on top. Back with more here on DelawareThunder.com. (5-2), 4:26. Second period action here. Thunder got ahead 2-0. 5 unanswered here for Danbury. And Danbury keeping it going. Here's Jackson, who has a goal. Gets it to Bonnell, who also has a goal. And he's taken off the puck. Atwell will circle back to get it. Atwell under duress by Noah Wild, who was credited with the first goal of the game. Initially going to Lucchese, who had the puck there. Ruiz got it on the net. Constantino strong on his stick. Made the save. Under 4 minutes now. And Danbury just keeps coming in waves even when they're at full strength.
2 good saves by Lucchese.
Here's Bonnell breaking in. He's got Ruiz. Ruiz all by himself. He scores. Ruiz, no chance for Constantino. And goal number 2 on the night, or late afternoon, for Ruiz. It's now 6-2.
Coach McLean not happy on the bench after that one. Too easy for the Danbury hat-tricks. Johnny Ruiz, the captain of this team, gets the feed in the slot from Gordy Bonnell over the glove of Mike Constantino, and it's 6-2 in favor of the Danbury hat-tricks.
And body language not great for the Thunder now, and you can't blame them. Down 6-2, third game in 3 nights. That's goal number 10 on the year for Ruiz, the second in this hockey game. And this one has opened up significantly. Now 6-2, 6 in a row for Danbury. There's Gallagher. Morgan coming away with it. It's been a while since he scored the second goal for the Thunder this afternoon. And back out the other way comes White Duck. He has a goal. Tried the dangle. Couldn't get it by McNally.
Good play by Nick McNally there.
McNally tried to throw it over to Morgan. Comes to Aslan. Aslan rips it off the post. Oh, that would have been a nice one. But Aslan off the post. Back out to the neutral zone. And right beneath our broadcast vantage point, Brandon Beard attempted to get it over to Morgan. Morgan will change. Puck comes back to Joey Brennan. Under 3 minutes now, second period. And it's been a tough one. Noah Wild with a high riser just over the right shoulder of the goaltender, McEwen. Brandon Beard comes away with it, drops it off for Wild. That blocked by Anderson. Wild lost it. Anderson gets it up to Kuznetsov. Watch out here. This guy's got some wheels. Kuznetsov moving right on in, over to Finberg, and he is poked away. There's going to be another penalty coming up. He didn't get a shot on net, and the Thunder will be shorthanded once again as a slash coming our way.
Now that's a penalty you don't mind by Nick McNally. That's a tap-in on the far side after a great feed from Kuznetsov. But McNally got back, made sure they didn't have the open cage tap-in. Back shorthanded, not great in this situation. I do understand that. But you get a kill, you give yourself some life going into the third period, and I do think we will see Babin in the third.
Yeah, at this point, Constantino's got to be tiring. He had a great game last night. Really can't blame him for most of these tonight. Maybe one he'd like to have back, the Bonnell shot. But other than that, he's played well this season. At the point, that shot blocked. Nice play. Daniliuk got it on, tried to get it on net and go all the way down as this power play just underway for Danbury. I was mentioning percentage-wise coming into the game, not great, but tonight, great puck movement. And as Mike mentioned, they set up Ruiz very nicely, who's not out there right now. They've got Finberg along with Kuznetsov. And Finberg has the puck here, top of the circle. Stops, pops, passes it out. Kuznetsov. Oh, what a dangle. Brilliant move and a good save. Staying along the ice was Constantino. Back to the point now. Daniliuk passes it over to Susi. Susi waiting. Now he gets it to Kuznetsov. That was a nice move. Ivechkin-like to throw out a name from Binghamton. Seen way too much of him. Daniliuk back to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov, patient. Finberg now with the puck. Right point. Now to the left point, Susi. He waits. Dishes off to Kuznetsov. Minute left on the power play. 1:22 to go in the period. Finberg now over into the corner. Daniliuk. Daniliuk, top of the circle. Now to the face-off dot. Dishes it back off to Anderson. They're just staying to the perimeter, which is good for the Thunder. Anderson now below the goal line. Back out to the point. Daniliuk. And there's a shot by Susi. Blockered away. 30 seconds left on the power play. Under a minute to go. Second period. Finberg threw it out. Daniliuk. Now over to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov dishing it wide open. Finberg, and he scores. Two-pad slide attempt by Constantino, but Finberg was wide open. Another power play goal at 7-2.
Well, like you said, everything was to the outside. Delaware was doing a good job, but once again, that unit was just on for way too much time. Way too much time that unit was on for. Tired legs on the ice. Danbury was in the midst of making a couple changes. They had a few fresh players on the ice, and Finberg finishes.
And Coach McLean tapping Trevor Babin on the shoulder, and it's pretty clear he'll be coming in third period. He had a few things to say to him, like, hey, probably just settle it down here. 47 seconds remained. Second period, 7 straight goals for Danbury. They've got a touchdown up on the board. Atwell flicks it up. Hansen coming away with it is Morgan. Morgan, wrist shot, and blockered away again by McEwen. 27 seconds now on the clock. 7-2, second period. Danbury, even though they traveled most of the night, coming off a victory in Carolina against the Thunderbirds, playing very well. Aslan had it, lost it, now picks it back up. 10 seconds now on the clock. That was Bell getting it off, and in the corner was Lopez. Muscled off now, White Duck, and that'll do it for period number 2. It was all Danbury in that second stanza. They will head to the dressing room with a 7-2 lead at the end of 2. We'll be back with the Holiday Inn Express second period intermission right after this. You're listening to Delaware Thunder Hockey on DelawareThunder.com.
back here for the Holiday Inn Express intermission report. Danbury hat trick 7, your Delaware Thunder 2 after 2 periods of play. Mike Basile with you, and just wanted to talk about last night for a second. Military Appreciation Night here at the Thunderdome, and it was an absolute great turnout. Thank you to everyone who came and showed their support, and to everyone who bidded on those jerseys on Live Source yesterday. It went to a great cause, half of the proceeds, and we appreciate everything that you Thunder fans have done for us this season. Make sure you keep an eye out for that schedule next week on the road in Danbury for a doubleheader there, and then back home the next weekend for a home and home with the Watertown Wolves. Keep up with our schedule at DelawareThunder.com. We'll be back after a break.
And welcome back into the Holiday Inn Express second period intermission. 7-2 the score, and Dave Garson here with Mike Basile. And Mike, it's tough when the home team's losing like this. Any bright spots you can take out of that second period, in which the Thunder were outshot handily, 25-6 and 37-14 overall in the game?
Well, you got to look at the positives, right? These two teams are going to meet again next weekend. So it's important for Delaware to come out this third period strong and finish this contest strong. I did see a couple positives. Artem Alekin, for me, has played good all around this contest. He has been very solid, and Brandon Lucchese as well. We also talk about on the back end Tim Payne, who's been good, and J.C. Moritz saved a goal and had a few very good defensive plays that period. So talking about this third period now, Delaware's got to think about the next goal, not tie in this game right away. They need to think about the next goal. How can we get the next one? You look to guys like Noah Wild, Brandon Lucchese. They have to find a way to put the puck in the back of the net early in this period, get Danbury on their toes, and flip the script a little here.
And you got to hand it to the Thunder fans that have come out on this Sunday afternoon, third game in a row for the Thunder, all at home. They had a lot of options today, and they've come out to support the Thunder, as well as all of you listening on DelawareThunder.com. We really appreciate the support. As Mike said, you'll be heading on the road next weekend. And then what's the home schedule look like after that?
We are in Watertown that Friday, back home Saturday for the home and home with the Watertown Wolves. So we get a week off, a week in Danbury, I should say, and then a home and home with that Watertown Wolves team that early in this season looks very, very promising for a playoff run. Beating Columbus 9-0 yesterday. That is a tall accomplishment and a bit surprising. I know around the Federal Hockey League that had a lot of heads turning. Here tonight, Delaware, like we talked about, the only game today in the Federal Hockey League. See if they could flip this script early. I know, like we said, 3-3 tired legs. Both these teams going to enjoy probably a couple days off after this because this is a long, grueling weekend here. And Danbury, they've put a lot of miles on that bus.
Absolutely. Speaking of Danbury, you don't see this too often. Your team's up 7-2, but we looked over to the bench of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and Johnny Ruiz sitting out there focusing in between periods of a 7-2 game. That's a true leader, a true captain, and he's been very impressive tonight.
Yeah, Johnny Ruiz is the heart and soul of this Hat-Tricks team. It was the same thing back in 2019. He's a guy who plays hard on and off the ice. He leads this team, and he's led this team tonight. He's got the 2 goals tonight, and he's worked hard in both ends of the zone. And you look at the Thunder side, it's J.C. Moritz for me right now who's doing that for them. You hear him in the locker room. He's vocal. On the ice, he's letting the guys know where to be at. When they huddle up near the bench during the media timeouts, it's either coach or JC having a chat with the team, and that's what this Thunder team needs. A promising veteran to calm this team down.
And one of the things you haven't seen from the Thunder is finger pointing. They know they're shorthanded. They know it's been a rough go here. The team that hasn't won a game, they get their first point last night, but they're still staying together. When we're near that locker room area and you see the guys on the bench, of course the coaching staff's not thrilled, but overall the guys are sticking together, and that's a good sign to see. We'll have third period action coming your way. Danbury on top 7-2. Thanks for joining us during the Holiday Inn Express second period intermission. And we're back ready for third period action. Thunder jumped out to a 2-0 lead. They now trail 7-2 as we enter this third stanza. Dave Garson, Mike Basile here on DelawareThunder.com. Likely the final period of 3 straight games. And I'd like to thank all of our staff here in the arena and up in the broadcast booth. Sue Lamb doing a great job. Last night we had Ben Rothstein helping us out. And Colin Yost. Not the one from Saturday Night Live.
No, but we've had a lot of help this weekend. We appreciate it, obviously, especially up here in the broadcast booth. 20 minutes left for Delaware to right their wrongs. Let's see what they could do.
And it looks like Casatino is staying in net here to start the third period, number 39. Adam Morgan trying to get it by Atwell, and it's going to go back into the glove of Casatino. Luke Casey will come out with the puck now. From right to left. Pitches it up to Morgan, who tries to get it in the zone. That will not happen. The Ruiz line is out there. And we'll see how this third period develops. Glad you could join us. This game started late afternoon. Now moving into early evening. Lucchese trying to throw it out on in front. Lazaro, who scored goal number 1 for Danbury today, got the puck. And now Jackson, who has a goal, to Ruiz, who has 2, both of them in the second period. Dishes it off to Jackson. A little bit too far. Moritz in the corner, bodying it off. Bonnell with a backhander off the shoulder of Constantino. Comes back to Bell, and Bell fires it wide. Tom Bell is going to get the puck back. Just skipped over his stick. He keeps it in. Obviously, both of these teams very tired. I believe this is the 3rd straight road game for Danbury, including one prior to Thanksgiving on Wednesday.
4.
Finberg, 4 straight. Finberg tried to dipsy-do his way in, cannot do so, and Anderson will go back. Brady Hansen with a burst of speed on the back check, on the forecheck, unable to get there. Susi with the puck. He'll roll behind his own net, and we got an injury. That looks like Anderson, I believe.
It's a lower body injury for sure. Need a trainer out on the ice as soon as possible here.
Corey Anderson, number 27, down on the ice. We will take a injury timeout and back with more. 7-2 here in the third period. And good news here, Corey Anderson back up on his 2 feet. And it looked scary at first, Mike, but he seems to be okay. I don't know if he'll return in a 7-2 game, but glad to see Corey Anderson back up.
Well, it just looked like his leg kind of went in awkwardly into the boards there, and he stayed down, and that might have been one of those plays where it's more scary than anything, right? You get caught up a little bit. Him and Hansen just battled all the way to the wall there. That one's up and out of play.
Off the stick of Timothy Payne. Just about 2 minutes into third period play. Thunder claiming point number 1 on the season last night in a late night shootout affair. Face off to the left of McEwen. A quick shot by Hansen. Off the knob of the stick. McEwen and back out and down into the defensive zone. Brennan and Kyan Farsad getting probably only a second shift of the game, as this is going to be an icing by the Thunder. And we'll see how this period develops, Mike, with a 5-goal lead. Both teams probably just want to get to the dressing room, regroup for their next affair next week as they take on each other again.
Right, and at first I know you're a little surprised it was Brady Hansen the first one in, but he's up on the wing right now, actually, with Joe Brennan and Tim Payne back on defense.
Danbury controlling. Puck behind the net, comes back to Atwell. Asselin creating some pressure. White Duck, who has a goal. And now it'll come out to Asselin for the Thunder. Penalty back behind the play.
Beard again.
I believe it is Brandon Beard once again, as he is making himself at home in the sin bin in the last 3 games here. So the Thunder will be shorthanded again. And they were under severe attack by this Danbury power play, particularly in that second period, as they will go right out with Bonnell, Ruiz, and Jackson.
So 2 minutes for a cross check there on Beard. I thought it was going to be a slash, as him and Hansen both got a good shot in from behind there.
Gallagher and Atwell at the points here for Danbury. And a face-off won there by Lucchese. Couldn't get it out. And they finally do. Lucchese moving the puck the other way. It's McNally that had attempted to get that one out at first. Atwell behind his net will set up the power play breakout. Minute 40 on this man advantage. Dumping it in is Atwell, who chased his own puck. McNally just eluding the full brunt of that hit. Bonnell. Back to Ruiz, behind the net, Jackson. Jackson dishes it up off the kick plate. Went to Atwell, now Bonnell. Bonnell waiting, top of the circle. Jackson again. Pass out to Atwell. Atwell over to Gallagher. Gallagher tried as Ruiz was in front for the deflection, couldn't get it. Bonnell now. 1 minute to go on the power play. Jackson passes over to Gallagher. Good save by Cosentino. Gallagher now behind the net. Settles it for Jackson. Jackson. Atwell walks the line slowly. Back to Jackson, number 18, right side. And right over to Gallagher with a one-timer, and it's kicked aside by Mike Cosentino. Bonnell dishing off again here to Atwell. Atwell to Jackson, threw it through the blue paint. Over to Bonnell on that far circle. Atwell quickly to Ruiz. Ruiz looking for the hat trick. Tosses it to Bonnell. Picks it back up. And his shot went off of, I believe, Lucchese's shin pad. 16 seconds to go. Atwell at the point. Waiting, under duress from Lucchese. Back behind the net. In front to Ruiz. And a great save coming out the challenge, Mike Cosentino.
That was a 1:54 shift for the penalty killers for Delaware. They got the job done at what appeared just 6 seconds left to the power play.
The hat tricks have not let the pedal off the metal here in the third period. They're still going at it, as we've mentioned a few times, with all the travel they've done, and still showing enthusiasm and energy here in this third period. Power play now over, full strength hockey. 15:36. Third period remains in this 5-goal difference. Back behind the net was Lazaro. Long ago scored the first goal for Danbury. Finberg dropping it back to Kuznetsov. Here's Susi. Susi tried the nifty move. Alekin backhands to Hansen. Hansen up on the forward line, it looks like again, Mike. And back out the other way. Kuznetsov dancing on in. And that puck goes wide. Anderson back on the ice. That's good to see. Kuznetsov taken off by Lucchese. Nice job. Timothy Payne to Asselin now. And they break out very well on that shift. Susi will dump it in. That'll be an icing as it was in front of the red line, or before the red line, and it'll come back the other way.
Lucchese's been very good tonight. Both ends of the ice. Brandon Lucchese probably been the top player wearing a black jersey.
And we've got a timeout. 7-2, Danbury in front. Back with more after this. And so we're back. Just under 15 minutes remain, third period. And what's turned out to be a little bit of a blowout here, 7-2 Danbury. Finberg had the stick up there, couldn't get to the puck. Moritz laying it up here. Half circle near center ice. And now Danbury will regroup. White Duck, who had a goal in that second period. Finberg went off his skates. He now gets it to the stick. Left side. Shot bounced right out in front, and a wrister by White Duck went behind the net, and back in it goes. That puck deflected. Delaware tried to throw it in front. He gets it back, fires, and it goes off the blocker and then straight down as Casatino is able to cover it. Delaware, number 4.
J.C. Moritz came in, throws the body late there. A couple bodies end up on the ice here. Late in a game like this, that could happen, and the refs will try to keep it to a minimum as they know things can get out of hand with tempers flaring late.
And Mike, we refer to this a lot from a goaltending perspective. You got to hand it to Casatino hanging in there. He's given up 7, most of them clearly not his fault, but he stayed composed here in the third period.
He has. He really has. He's made a few good saves in this third period. And like we said, Dave, you know it. You've played. When you play a team over and over again, like 3 in a row here or those 5 against Binghamton, no matter what minute it is of what game, you got to prove something to that other team.
Absolutely. Far side out there. Oh, he got muscled off by Timothy Payne with a big hip check. And Brandon Beard back out the other way. Beard getting it to Hansen. Hansen cuts towards the slot, and the wrister slipped off his stick. Delaware threw it out, and now Atwell back the other way. As we mentioned, a heavy shot for Atwell from the point. And offsides go the hat tricks. So Danbury got behind 2-0. We're feeling real good in that first period, including that quick power play goal for the Thunder, and then it's been all Danbury since, Mike.
Yeah, it was just a swing that it felt like happened. It's like a pendulum kept going back and forth, and then it just stayed on one side here. It was the Johnny Ruiz show in the second period, really. He lit his team up, and they got going.
Absolutely. Bonnell with an errant pass and coming back for it, and we get shaken up here in the booth from that hit beneath us.
That was the scariest one of the year.
Zach Lazaro, when it starts shimmying both ways, you get a little worried. Garrett Gallagher dumping it into that far left corner. McNally back after. Had the head up, got it up to Aslan. Aslan bounces it off the boards to Luke Casey. Casey now back to Aslan. Aslan stick check by Johnny Ruiz. Moritz tried to come up for support with Luke Casey. And now neutral zone play. And Aslan will come away with it. Aslan getting it over to McNally, who will just dump, and the Thunder will do wholesale line changes. 12:23 now, third period. Here comes Anderson. Good to see him back on the ice after that injury. Shot into the breadbasket. Easy stop for Casatino. Coming away with it is Brennan. Brennan, head up. And he goes from right to left. And the puck will get dumped in. Brennan chasing. Bell behind the net. Getting it up to Finberg. Finberg really taken down hard by Timothy Payne, throwing the body. And now a dipsy-do by Alekin. Alekin into the corner. And Bell got it away from him. Beard had it momentarily, lost it to Finberg, and back comes Danbury. 2-on-2 the other way. Finberg and Kuznetsov. Finberg, nice play. Timothy Payne, great defensively, especially the last 2 nights. Really impressed by him.
He met us out in that Binghamton game like we talked about, and ever since he's been a mainstay on this Delaware defense. Top 4, playing a lot of minutes on, especially on the penalty kill.
Pardon me, Mike. White Duck with a good move, but a penalty coming up against Danbury. It's going to be a slash. And it's going to be against Susi, I believe, number 7.
Must have been behind the play, Dave. I missed it.
Yeah, the official, actually, Susi had already gone to the bench, and they had to get him off to go into the penalty box, which happens to be right next to the bench, so not too far of a sojourn. I haven't seen much of the power play this evening for the Thunder, but we will get it here. Lucchese, Aslan on the draw, and Morgan on the right wing. Bad play by Morgan off that right wing side, and it's easily steered into the corner by Lopez. Cosentino settle it down for his defenseman McNally behind the net. Aslan will come out on that right side. Aslan dumping, chasing after his own puck. Tried to get it to Lucchese, he can't. Aslan still with it. And now he finally gets it to Lucchese. 3 guys at the top, right inside the blue line. Aslan back to Morgan. Morgan, that one's offsides. Lucchese just a little late pulling that one back in on the blue line.
And they were starting to set up there, right? Things were starting to move in the right direction for Delaware, as we'll get a wholesale line change here. See Hansen, Beard, Brennan Alekin, and Tim Payne, who, like you said, it's Lucchese up front tonight and Tim Payne back on defense. I haven't seen Noah Wild much in this third period. Taking a look at the bench here, I don't think I see him down there either.
Yeah, this one will be cleared down by Atwell. Can ill afford any more injuries for this Thunder team. Had quite a few coming into the weekend, and some tough physical hockey the last 3 days. Here's Timothy Payne trying to get into the offensive action. This one cleared down, and I flinched up here. Joey Ruiz flew that one our way. Pardon me, Johnny Ruiz. And into the corner. Daniliuk to Atwell. 45 seconds on the power play. 10 minutes to go. Tim Payne got it, but a penalty coming up, and I guess it's going to be Hansen again.
The official down low said no. The official up top makes the call. Got to be communication there, unless he saw something the official down low didn't, but he said no, it was your own teammate's stick.
So Hansen goes to the box, and in 44 seconds, we'll go from 4-on-4 to 5-on-4 in favor of Danbury. Got to like those threads for Danbury. They're quite...
It's like Halloween all season long.
Yeah, actually it is. The orange, not quite a Philadelphia Flyer orange. Some gray in there, black and white. So face off to the left to Cosentino. It's won by the Thunder. McNally with the puck. McNally moving up this near side boards. He'll dump it in. And it floats into the left corner. 30 seconds, and then Danbury will go on that very dangerous power play of theirs. Lazaro tried to get it to Finberg. He'll circle back. Almost dangerously gave it away to Lucchese. And Gallagher now dips below the circles. And a great move by Kuznetsov from left to right. He moves down that right wing side. And he's taken off the puck by Lucchese. Into the corner. Dish from the near side to the far side. Lucchese coming away with the puck. Power play now, 1:15. Coming out is Anderson as the extra attacker. And this one goes right onto the stick of Alekin. Oh, and a great play by Gallagher on the back check to get there with the stick.
Just kind of how the night has gone for Delaware here. Alekin looks like he's in free behind the defense. You know Delaware's got some tired legs, especially without Wild on the bench. And
speaking of legs, Anderson back feeling good. He had those legs moving after the apparent leg injury from earlier. 47 seconds to go on the power play. Under 9 minutes to play in the hockey game. No goals here in this third period. Plenty in the second as Danbury built a 7-2 lead. Here's Jackson. He got one of those goals. Jackson stops, moves in, all by himself. Brilliant move. Tries to go behind Constantino on the backhand. Couldn't do it, and the Thunder get it down. 25 seconds. Chance for one more rush for the hat-tricks.
Ruiz pops on the ice. He's on hat-trick watch right now.
Bonnell has also been on that score sheet. Dishes it in front. Flashing out the pad was Constantino. And that'll just about do it for the power play. Good job by the Thunder, as it's been a much more settled down period here in the third. Bonnell tried the dangle. Gets it to Jackson. Jackson waits. Tried to lay it in front to Ruiz. Couldn't do it. Now back out in front. Daniliuk wide open. Oh, what a nice save by Constantino as it rattled off his pad and into his glove. And we've got ourselves a media timeout. Thunder down by 5. And so we are back. 6 ticks under 8 minutes. Third period, 7-2. Thunder trailing. No goals in this third period. Offensive zone draw for Danbury. Puck comes out in front. Luke Casey with it. Luke Casey on the right wing side of the ice. Rolls it around. Adam Morgan after it. And again, I haven't seen Noah Wild. I don't know if you mentioned he was still on the bench.
He is not, Dave.
Farsad, one of his limited appearances on the ice. That one in Bell skates. And it gets away from Morgan. Back to Susi. And now moving in with it is White Duck. And an easy one for Cosentino.
Yeah, Mike Cosentino once again has been steady tonight. The rubber's been at his way most of this contest. Cosentino's made the saves he had to. Like you said, the third goal that got him, he'd probably want back, but just a perfect screen set up.
Yeah, that was the shot from Bonnell, which he didn't get a ton on that wrister. Lopez takes the draw, wins it to the point. Gallagher off some skates in front. And Timothy Payne, who's been all over defensively, doing a great job. And Natras also was playing well and out with the injury today. Natras, who got into the fight last night. Hansen scoops it up to Beard. And back around it comes to Lazaro. Lazaro, who had that high rising wrister goal way back in the first period. Lopez now with the puck, White Duck with the puck. High save for Cosentino. And back out the other way. A briskly moving third period. 6:43 is all that remains from the final buzzer. Brennan stops on the 360. And now he will go back. He'll get some support. Brennan and Moritz. And here comes Aslan. Aslan moving with Brandon Beard and Hansen moving up as well. Playing a little forward here. Aslan all the way around, far circle. And now over to Beard, and a great save by McEwen, who hasn't been too busy, but he was able to flash out that right pad.
It's a really good save, and it's an even better play by Adamo Aslan to work it free to Brandon Beard in front.
Finberg getting it up to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov stops on a dime, tosses to Finberg, and it rolled off his stick and back out the other way. Adam Morgan. He's got Alekin moving in at center ice. Morgan tries to cut that way, can't do it. Daniliuk pushes it up to Kuznetsov. He's got Finberg, who was in line for a hit from McNally and just shoved it away. And here comes Payne. Trying to back his way into the zone, and it rolls on to the goaltender, McEwen. 5:38 now.
Yeah, Will McEwen, like you said, hasn't been too busy since the first period. And the first goal that beat him, now knowing it was tipped by Wild, that probably gave him a bit of a problem. But he still got a big piece of it as it was deflected in behind him. And the Morgan goal, just no chance.
Alekin lost it. Atwell gets it up. Ruiz out there, top line with Jackson and Bonnell. Here's Jackson. Jackson with a beautiful move. And that wrister got ricocheted up and behind the net into the netting.
When we talk about those active sticks, there's still been a lot of active sticks in this period by the Delaware Thunder. They've blocked a lot of shots tonight and still upwards of 40 on Mike Casatino.
Ruiz will be out here on the draw with Brandon Beard. Ruiz loses it. Brandon Beard won it, but Ruiz has it. He didn't see it at first. Trying to cut towards the slot, waiting, dishes it off to Bonnell. Bonnell tried to make the move, couldn't. Aslan gets it up. Oh, he had Hansen moving, couldn't get it to him, and here's Bell. Bell with the big body, moving out this way. And Brennan gets it. Backhander, kept in by Susi, but he kicks it into the Thunder bench. Late hit by Brandon Beard, and oh, we're getting gloves dropping. And that looks like Ruiz sticking up for his teammate. He dropped the gloves. So definitely some penalties here, and Ruiz is not happy. And also looks like Bell's taken off the gloves, tried to get a punch in, and now he is. He's going at it with Brandon Beard, who was the one that threw the late shove. Beard and Bell, who were teammates briefly, going at it in our second fight in as many nights.
Well, Ruiz took exception to the hit, tried to take care of it himself. Tom Bell came to his aid, and Brandon Beard and him chuck, and they'll sit for pretty much the rest of this contest with just 5:12 to play.
And Brandon Beard giving up a significant height disadvantage there to Bell, as Beard a lot smaller than Bell. I don't know if he really wanted to mix it up with him, but it was Ruiz that said, hey, I'm the captain and the leader of this team. I'm not putting up with that. And he immediately dropped the gloves.
And Ruiz and Beard was a long time coming for that fight. There were a couple plays back in the defensive zone in Danbury's side where Ruiz and him were going at it, and it looked like Payne wanted to throw down the gloves, never got him off. We'll see who sits where. We'll try and get this all sorted out for you.
And we'll take a break, 7-2 with 5:12 to go, third period. Back with the finish to this game right after this. And they've figured out all the penalties following the fight. It's going to be a power play for Danbury. Brandon Beard with the 2-minute minor, I assume, for cross-checking or interference, along with the fighting that went on there. 7-2. And just not what you need here if you're the Thunder, another Danbury power play.
Looks like Beard's the only one who ended up in the box. I'm guessing it's going to be 2 for the roughing. I see Ruiz on the bench over here. Obviously, Bell's in the box, 2-5 for fighting.
Well, Ruiz did let the gloves down, so you would think that would be a penalty. They'll go with their third unit on the power play. Lopez, along with White Duck and Farsad. So he gets some power play time here. Lazaro keeping it in. Here's Lopez. And White Duck going back and forth. Lazaro keeping it in right point. Daniliuk, left side, top of the circle. Let one on the net, and Casatino saw it. Full vision on that one for the stoppage. And we'll have another break. Media timeout, 7-2 White Duck on the draw, still in the power play here, 1:38 to go. 7-2, Daniliuk at the right point. Number 4 dishes to White Duck. White Duck back, and a shot coming on there by 55. Lazaro trying to get a second goal of the game. And Lopez lost it to White Duck. White Duck back to the point, Daniliuk. Daniliuk waiting.
Delayed
And
penalty here.
delayed penalty as Anderson hops into the play. Daniliuk still at the right point. Over to Anderson. Back to White Duck, and it's under Constantino for the whistle, but it'll be a 5-on-3 for likely 105.
You hear the Hat-Tricks bench saying, give up the puck, give up the puck. That's the smart play. You take as much 5-on-3 time as possible.
Well, we saw plenty of 5-on-3 last night, and we'll see it again as Moritz will go to the box. 4:16.
I don't think you're going to see any more of Johnny Ruiz or Gordy Bunnell after the last little fight there. You can't risk injury, I don't think, right now if you're the Hat-Tricks.
So you got Anderson, Kuznetsov out there along with Finberg. Anderson will take the draw. Aslan, McNally, and Brennan for the Thunder. Anderson wins it forward. Brennan tied up with Kuznetsov. Finberg coming in for support, 3 against 1. And coming away with it is Finberg to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov rolls it back to Atwell. Winds and fires. Good save by Constantino, and he steered it to the corner. Back to Gallagher. Garrett Gallagher hit it off the glass, got it back with his glove. And Gallagher waits. At the face-off dot, top of the circle, Kuznetsov, back right point. Back over to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov walks in, and that one rolled, and I believe that crossed the line. They say no, but I saw white paint behind it. And now Kuznetsov has it, and he shoots it wide. That one, I believe, could have been called a goal. Gallagher back to Kuznetsov at the hash mark. Flings it over to Atwell. Teed up by Gallagher. That one went wide. Trying to tuck it in was Anderson. Couldn't do it. Atwell comes away with it. Now to a 5-on-4. A shot. And somehow Constantino found it through the crowd and then landed in his glove. Off the stick of Gallagher. 5-on-4 for 55 seconds. 3:11 on the clock in the hockey game.
Good kill. Your best penalty killer's got to be your goaltender. And Mike Constantino made a few big stops there. And look, I was wrong again. There's Johnny Ruiz and Gordy Bunnell right back out there.
Well, they want to finish on an even higher note than they already are at with a 7-2 lead. Bunnell with a nice move. Threw it out in front, and Ruiz could not get to it. At the point is Susi. Lays it across. Jackson was waiting for it, but Timothy Payne once again. Johnny on the spot defensively. Great job as he dumps it in with just 40 seconds left on the power play.
Yeah, that was a good play by Tim Payne. We said his name quite a lot tonight, and he's been impressive in his own end.
The Thunder developing quite the defensive core with Natras coming in the fold, although he's out hurt tonight. Payne behind the net. Oh, he's under all kinds of duress. Burrell gets it back to the point. And now a tuck into the corner. Ruiz lost it. Watch Bunnell. He's wide open, top of the circle. And coming away with it is Jackson. He's hounded from behind by Lucchese. Power play is over. And we're rolling towards the final 2 minutes of this hockey game. No goals in the third period, but 9 through the first and second. Lucchese was calling for it, but Ruiz comes away with it. He's looking for that hat trick, and he fires a wrister. It went off the arm of McNally into the corner. Aslan had it. And now McNally in a scuffle behind the net with Aslan trying to provide support. It was McNally there. Farsad trying to get it to Gallagher. Gallagher cannot keep it in. Aslan coming over. 1:40 left in this hockey game. Aslan loses a glove. He just backhands it out. White Duck comes away with it. White Duck will circle back, settle things down, and Lazaro squeaks his way into the zone, but relinquished the puck. McNally trying to hit a Lekin, couldn't do it. Now back the other way. Off the midsection of Hansen, and Lopez Had it for a second. Now he'll chase after it. 1:10 on the clock. Lopez cutting in. Handed it off to White Duck. And it lands in the glove of Casatino, who has certainly settled things down in this third period. 7-2 Danbury.
Casatino fought this period, and that's what you love out of him. He fought every shot, and he worked to keep his team in this game. Unfortunately for Delaware, the legs just ran out of juice, didn't they, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been obviously a long weekend. 3 games in 3 nights. And Thunder will get some practice time this week and then head to this same Danbury team on the road. See if they wave this icing off, and they will. Lazaro comes after it. 1 minute left in the hockey game. Lopez chips it up. Moritz has it. The half circle along the boards and back to Lazaro. 50 seconds now. Farsad skating up with Anderson. Farsad whiffed on the shot. It kicks over into the corner. Anderson reverses course, comes back out in front, and he scores. That was a beautiful wrist shot up under the crossbar. It hit the water bottle behind the net, and it's 8-2.
Just a good play from the Hat-Tricks to finish this one off. One last goal for Danbury here. Good work to gain entry into the offensive zone. And the danger of Dmitry Kuznetsov finds the back of the net upstairs over Casatino.
And that was a nice one. I believe it's Anderson actually with the goal there. 27. Yeah. So Anderson, the veteran of the league, with a nice one and a 6-goal lead for Danbury, as they will take the trek back up to Connecticut, feeling real good about themselves with back-to-back wins on the road this weekend. Center ice draw following the goal. McNally, he'll just dump it in. Final 20 seconds now. Gallagher. Aslan tried to throw it in. Here's Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov getting it to Anderson, and it'll bounce into the Thunder bench near goaltender Trevor Babin, who's been able to relax a bit the last 2 nights. I'm sure he'll see plenty of action next weekend. 6.3 to go. Thanks to all of you tuning in. The last 3 nights here exclusively on DelawareThunder.com. Dave Garson and Mike Basile with all the action. And Mike will be flying solo on the road next weekend. And that'll do it. 3 games this weekend, all 3 losses for the Thunder as they fall to 0-7-1. Danbury moves to 7-3-1. The final again this evening, 8-2 in favor of the Hat-Tricks. We'll be back to wrap it up here from the Thunderdome right after this. And so we're back here on the Holiday Inn Express postgame show. Final score on this Sunday afternoon into early evening. Danbury wins it 8-2 over the Thunder. Danbury getting the only goal in that third period. Corey Anderson, who had an injury earlier in the period, looked a little scary, but a nice wrist shot. And that was it. Casatino hanging in there, being steady in the third period. Mike Basile now joining me. Tough weekend here for the Thunder. What can they build on going into next weekend on the road in Danbury?
Well, they got to work on the power play, I think, get that going a little better. They scored a couple good power play goals, big-time power play goals, but in the grand scheme of things, when they needed the big goal, they couldn't find it, and that's a problem here. You know, you lose a goal by 1 game on Friday and Saturday, barring an empty net, I do understand that, but those are 2 games that could go either way. Tonight, a little bit of a different story. Obviously, tired legs, you understand it a bit. But they need to come into Danbury next weekend with a whole different mindset and find a way to get 3 points.
Goals tonight for the Thunder by Noah Wild. Initially it was given to Brandon Lucchese and Adam Morgan also getting one. Lazaro White Cloud, Bonell, Ruiz with 2, Jackson, Finberg, and Anderson all on the board for the hat tricks. Final score once again 8-2 for Sue Lamb. Mike Basile, Dave Garson saying good night, good hockey from the Thunderdome. Once again, final score Danbury 8 and the Thunder 2. We'll talk to you next weekend.